Ladies and gentlemen, is PlayStation 3, old console like this one that I have in my hand, still worth playing in 2024? Well, the answer is kind of obvious, I would say yes, but in this video I want to give you some solid reasons why it's a great purchase in 2024. So let's start right away. First is because of the games. And I'll divide games that you can play on PlayStation 3 into three categories, because a lot of people say that it's worth playing 2024 because there is a lot of games that were stuck on the system. So the games that you cannot play anymore on any other system than PlayStation 3 or in some cases Xbox 360. However, there are more categories than the games that were exclusive for PlayStation 3 and are not playable on anything else. Another category that I want to mention is like older games that are practically unavailable anywhere else anymore. So to give you an example, Dirt 3, one of my favorite and best racing or rally games of all time. I really enjoyed playing it with my neighbor, with my friend, and I love this game. This is a great rally game, and I tried hard to get it legally on my PC, on my gaming PC, and it was practically impossible. Of course, you can illegally get it, but then you have a risk of the game not working or being stuck with some virus stuff. I don't like doing these things. So, simple and easy solution. You buy it on a CD, on a Blu-ray, and you have €6. I paid €6, probably around $6 in United States. So it is cheap, and you can jump right in to a very good racing game. Like Need for Speed The Run, pretty cool and super underrated racing game with, like, you know, mediocre story, but again, if you want to play it on PC, practically impossible, though it was available for PC. So those are games that are just easier to get and easier to play on older systems. The other category I want to mention is category of games that were remastered, but they don't actually look that much better on remastered version, or even there are some sacrifices that do not contribute to the whole feel of the game. What I mean is Batman Arkham, like Asylum and Arkham City, for example, it was remastered for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, and you can play it on PC, but those games do not have the same feel as they had in original version. Same with Mass Effect. Some people love Legendary Edition and the remastered edition of it, which is remastered edition of it, but still it's not the same experience. So if you want the original experience, this is the way to go. PlayStation 3 is the way to go, actually. Okay, so this is the first reason to play PlayStation 3 in 2024. Games. Remasters sometimes suck, so better to play original. Accessibility of older titles, amazing. And of course, exclusives that were stuck on PlayStation 3. Now, second reason to purchase PlayStation 3, it's a perfect retro gamer accessory. So not only you can play older titles that are designed for PlayStation 3, but if you have PlayStation 3 Slim or Super Slim, like in my case I bought Super Slim, you can play PlayStation 1 titles. So if you are in this, you know, retro nostalgic mood and you want to play the oldest games from the oldest console, you know, like PlayStation console, then PlayStation 1 is a great way to go. So basically, a lot of people don't realize that PlayStation 3 is backwards compatible, but be careful. Only the original PlayStation 3, the fat PlayStation 3, that has a lot of pros and cons, can play PlayStation 2 games. But all PlayStation, like the original one, PlayStation Slim and Super Slim, can play PS1 games. So if you go for Super Slim, you can play PS1 games. Very strong reason to play PlayStation nowadays. And the third reason to play PS3 games or buy PlayStation 3 in 2024 is because it is so accessible, so cheap. I bought this one for €80, then I put SSD drive for I believe 29 or 30 euros inside to make it a little bit more responsive and faster, and then the games cost you like Gran Turismo 5, €4. MotorStorm Pacific Rift, 6 euros. Little Big Planet, 6 euros. I bought Uncharted, I think, for 2 or 3 euros, so it will be the same in US, in dollars, so pretty much it's super cheap and accessible, and a lot of fun. And I gotta say that up to today, those games that you play on PlayStation 3 look amazing. Some of those games look fantastic, specifically when you plug it into modern television sets where you have these upscaling techniques. It looks really surprisingly good. And the last reason to play PlayStation 3 or to buy PlayStation 3 and play games in 2024 is actually a Dualshock controller. I mean, it's not the best controller out there, not the most ergonomic one, but it's fun to play. It does have the gyroscope thing, it does have pretty good feel to it, but the most important part to me that my PlayStation 5 controller dies in like 20 minutes of gameplay. Like, I'm exaggerating, but you have to practically charge it every second gaming session. With this guy, you can charge it once and you can play 2, 3, 4 weeks, depending on how much you play, and this thing doesn't die that quick. So it's really a still very good console, and one pro tip that you can actually install Netflix, install YouTube on it, and it still works, and you can still purchase games online. So if you don't want to buy discs, you can still use PlayStation Network Store and it works. So I hope I gave you guys enough reasons to play PlayStation 3 in 2024. I find it a lot of fun. I think it's a great gaming device, specifically if you're into a little bit of retro vibe. In the next video, I will explain how to get the most of your old PlayStation 3, so how to optimize it and what tweaks should you do with this machine to get the most out of it in 2024 and beyond. I hope you guys liked it, so please subscribe, thumbs up, and I see you in the next one.